So Xbox Game Pass is taking a hike up the price mountain. Just roll the intro. It is Sunday, so let's get sensational. I'm Mike, and I'm back to talk about the gaming news. And a lot of people are getting their games via subscription nowadays, and one very popular option is Xbox Game Pass. It's one of the better deals when it comes to gaming subscriptions because you get Microsoft's Day 1 releases, there's a PC option, and you get a streaming component as well. Well, Game Pass has been making the headlines this week because of a price increase and killing one of their tiers and replacing it with something that's arguably worse. So let's hop into the price increases first. So Game Pass for PC is going from $10 a month to $12 a month. Game Pass Core will go from $60 a year to $75 a year, but the monthly price of $10 will still be the same. And if you're not familiar with Game Pass Core, it's the option that Microsoft added to replace Xbox Live Gold on consoles, where you don't get games on day one and you get access to like a small collection of 25 games or somewhere around there that are rotated out over time. And of course, it gets you access to play games online like Xbox Live Gold used to. And the last one that's changing is Ultimate. That's going from $17 a month to $20 a month. So the changes for those three tiers took effect on July 10th for new subscribers, and it'll change for existing subscribers on September 12th. So those are the price changes. Basically, PC Game Pass is going up by $2 a month, Ultimate's going up by $3 a month, and Core is going up by $15 a year, but the monthly price is staying the same. So with that part out of the way, let's talk about Game Pass for console. It's going away. So previously, Microsoft had a Game Pass for console, which was cheaper than Ultimate for people who just wanted to play Game Pass on an Xbox. So with that tier, you still got most of the games minus EA's games, and of course you didn't get the PC component, but you still got all the new releases on day one. It was quite a bit cheaper than Ultimate. Ultimate was $17, that was only $11 a month, but it's going away for the new Game Pass standard tier, which will be $15 a month. It's still console only, and you get all the games except you don't get new games on day one. You'll get access to them eventually. Microsoft didn't give an exact time frame on when that tier gets access to newer games. So basically they got rid of the console only tier and introduced a new tier for consoles that's $4 more a month, and it includes less. The only good thing is people who are currently subscribed to Game Pass for console can keep their subscription for now at least. And also starting on September 12th, they're limiting the amount of Game Pass for console prepaid cards you can load. You can only stack up to 13 months after that time. So if you are on that tier and plan on keeping it and you want to get a bunch of prepaid cards, I'll probably do that soon. So yeah, there's not really a good way to spin all this. The price increases are normal. All subscription services do this. But the Game Pass standard tier is objectively a worse value than Xbox Game Pass for console. It costs more, so it's just a lose-lose situation for the customer. And it's really just affecting the console players, the people who are probably the most invested in Xbox. Like Game Pass for PC is staying the same, it's still getting day one releases, but console players are kind of getting screwed. The other thing I hate is that they don't give a timeline on when those new releases will be available for that new standard tier. I criticized Sony for the same thing when they released their PlayStation Plus tiers, and they were like, oh, our first party games will be on there eventually. Like, give it a time frame, like 6 months or 3 months or whatever the case. $15 a month isn't exactly cheap for this console only version, considering Ultimate is only $5 more, but that's obviously their goal, is to push console players to the Ultimate tier. Personally, I think it's the wrong move, and it could potentially result in them losing Game Pass subscribers on console. But you know what? Maybe they don't care as much, since they're looking to expand beyond the console and get new Game Pass subscribers with the streaming component of their service. So we talked about this a few weeks ago, but Microsoft announced that Game Pass streaming was coming to a couple of Amazon Fire Stick models, specifically the 4K and the 4K Max, but they didn't give an exact date and time of when it was going to be available. Well, it is now officially available on those two models. They did mention that they may add compatibility for other models later. Of course, you'll need a Bluetooth controller, like an Xbox controller, for example, and Game Pass Ultimate to stream games on the Fire Stick. Unfortunately, they announced this whole thing right before the price increase that we just talked about, so it's kind of bad timing on their part. But if you're sticking with Game Pass and you got Ultimate and you want to play an Xbox game on those two specific Fire Stick models, you can do that now. But one console you may not be playing games on anymore is the Xbox 360. And that's what we're talking about today in our final story. So this isn't new news since it was announced last year, but it's been popping back up lately since it's getting close to the end of July. But the Xbox 360 marketplace is officially closing as of July 29th. They had actually been doing a lot of sales to wind down the store, and now we're in the last couple of weeks of the store being available. So if you have a 360 still and you want to pick up some games, now would be the time, at least digital games. Obviously the physical games you can probably still get your hands on. Now, from my personal standpoint, it's kind of weird knowing that the console is basically going to be dead after this month. I mean, it was the most popular Xbox, and Microsoft hasn't really reached the heights of what they reached in the 360 era. They really brought the fight to Sony in that era, but it is their own fault, the mistakes they made with the Xbox One launch, and they're still paying for it now. But it was the first console that I personally, actually the only console that I stood in line overnight for. But yeah, the 360 launch was probably one of my favorite times in gaming, just in general. You know, until I got my first red ring, and then the second one, and then the third. Either way, we're pretty much saying goodbye to the 360 at the end of the month. I mean, it'll still be functional, like you can still download patches for existing games, you know, download your library, but the store is going away, like it's almost a dead console at this point. But let me know how you feel in the comments about the 360 shutdown, or let me know what your favorite games or experiences was from that era of gaming. Again, let me know down below, and if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification button thing to be notified when I drop a video or a live stream. And always do at least 2 things at the same time. Peace.